I tried this out this morning. I wouldn't be telling you this if it didn't work. Hi there guys, me again, Ryan JC, and today I've got some news for you. Is it a new technique? Maybe. I discovered something dealing with astral projection. And if you guys can grasp what I'm going to be telling you in this video, I'll explain this process as clearly as I can. Then you guys can actually initiate an astral projection, not just astral projection, but you'll also be able to set intentions more clearly, more accurately. Not only that, but also make you aware of an additional side effect of setting an intention when it comes to how your psychology and how your body actually reacts to you setting an intention to do anything in life, okay? So this is going to be good. It starts off with this and a little story about yesterday and this morning. This book right here. Pictorial Atlas of Acupuncture. It's hard to read when it's like sideways. So basically, last night I was learning about acupuncture. More specifically, the meridian channels in the body, right? And I noticed something very strange. Basically, I'd gone a little bit lazy throughout the day and I hadn't picked up some books or started learning about certain things when I should have been throughout the day. So during the last hours of that night, I decided to very quickly, hastily skim through some books and absorb as much as I can. Now, upon me picking up these books and reading, I realized something. When I set the intention, to learn about a specific thing, my subconscious mind did something which I wasn't previously aware of. Channels, meridians, channels. So I'll use this as an example. You can do this with anything, We'll probably break it off into other subjects or topics later on, including astral projection. So, meridians, channels. What do I already know about channels? Well, they're pathways which channel either water or energy. If you're looking at body, someone else's body or your own body, or even the physiology of a plant or a tree, there are channels which deal with channeling the chi inside of that organism, right? And then there are also channels like the London Channel, channels of water, bathe with stone and mud and whatever else is laying on the floor of those channels. Water is flowing in and out. So, I set the intent to learn about channels more in depth. I already knew about channels. That was already obvious in my mind. I went through some examples just a moment ago. Those same examples that I went through last night grounded in me. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you were to think about France, right? You were to think about the Eiffel Tower, cheese, wine, maybe smoking or pink lipstick. As you're thinking about those things, you feel an emotional response to those things, right? And as you feel that emotional response, if you set the intent to learn about France, and then you picked up a book on maybe French cuisine, all of a sudden, you'll be absorbing that information like a sponge. Now, what's actually happening here? This is where it gets cool. Your intention isn't this idea that you want to learn a bunch of stuff and you don't know how it's going to happen, you don't know how it's going to work. You're just hoping for the best and you're hoping that something sticks. Your intention is you already knowing something and then setting the intent to attach something outside of you to something you already know. This is called learning. Pretty simple, right? But there is another word which can actually replace the word intent, which makes more sense when it comes to what I'm talking about here. And that is the anchor, I call it the anchor. I anchor the frequency or the feeling that I'm embodying when I'm thinking about France or channels or astral projection or maybe self-development or maybe me wanting to speak clearly without skipping or making a mistake to the point where I have to cut this video so much, thus leading to me editing this video into the late hours of the night because it takes a while when you make so many mistakes. You've probably noticed by now I haven't skipped just yet. Fingers crossed. And that is because right now I'm holding that intent inside my mind and I can feel it. Now, what does the intent do? Well, What it does is in the case of this book, when I was thinking about the channels, I felt a certain way. I felt like I knew about channels already, and that this book was going to explore other areas of channels or channeling that I didn't previously know. So I'm going to show you guys a page. I'm going to walk you through the anchoring process, and then we'll attach it to something else, and I'll teach you how to do it with astral projection. Then I'll tell you a funny story about this morning when it worked. Here. This is a list of abbreviations pertaining to the channels in the body when it comes to Chinese medicine. Okay? You can print shot that right now. And I want you to use this as an example. You already know what channels are, right? We've just discussed that. So now you knowing that, this is what I did. I knew about channels, and I started to look at the abbreviations of the, I guess, elongated word, what it actually meant. And as I'm holding that knowing of channels, and I start to read the abbreviations, for example, GB stands for gallbladder channel, right? The gallbladder channel, I'm reading GB, gallbladder, which I already know what that is, the gallbladder, and then it says channel. As soon as I read channel, my subconscious mind says, oh, channel, this is another pathway within the body. That's a channel. It flows some sort of energy that you already know about because you know about channels, right? It's stuck to something. It's stuck to that knowingness already, that know-how. You see what I mean by that? So as I went through each abbreviation, it went in and it got stuck to the anchor, which was the intent within my body. The anchor was nothing more than the energy. It was a bunch of information. It was a bunch of knowingness of what things were already. Okay? I absorbed this stuff like a sponge. My brain started to swell on the inside of my head, and it felt like all this energy rushed up my spine in order to facilitate this activity going on within my cranium. It was pretty cool. Here's the thing. When it comes to my psychology, after I set the anchor and I was reading, I noticed that I was speed reading. I ended up knowing instantly how to read faster, how to accumulate more information quicker, how to spot out specific words to learn faster so that I can skip and just presume some words only a little bit. And then I did actually go back and read the entire sentence to see if I was accurate, and I was. My subconscious mind knew exactly what to do in order to learn faster. So not only am I taking information, sticking it to an anchor, but also the way I'm processing information changed in order to facilitate in my learning fast, in order to make up for those lost hours throughout the day. Okay? So the body reacts to your anchor, the energy in the body. And the anchor reacts to your intent. The clearer your intent, the bigger the anchor. If you're learning how to speak French and you're in, I guess, the fashion industry, in France, and you want to learn more about how to say specific colors or certain cuts of a dress, you think about the intention to learn about decorum in France, right? And as you have that intent, you start thinking about clothing that you already like, maybe pink with black dots, dresses with high arms. That's really intent, and that's really clear and precise. And then your body creates this anchor, which is all these combinations of memories, which then create that sponge so that you can absorb information as it comes in. And then your mind processes adequately in such a way so that you can learn faster, predetermined on what you already know. So, if you have done a bunch of research prior to your, learning endeavor when it comes to a new topic or anything in life, then all of that stuff that you thought you may have forgotten, those books you picked up years ago as to how to speak clearly, all of a sudden the information is going to come up and it's going to change the way you're seeing the situation so that you can process information faster. Now, what does this have to do with astral projection? A lot of you have looked into how to astral project, right? A lot of videos. Matter of fact, I would say too many people fall under the bad habit of just jumping to the next one and the next one and the next one, to the point where they've tried like 5 different techniques within the space of 3 days or maybe a week. It's an issue, because what if you're doing that one technique wrong? And then you're doing the same, even if you don't understand the other 4 techniques, because you don't have that full understanding, you're going to be trying it and failing. And then you'll just say it won't work because you're not sticking with it long enough and you're not trying to decipher what's going on. Now, if you want to know more about the issues, I did make a video on the 13 reasons as to why you can't astral project, and I'll put the link in the description below, or I'll put in the annotation somewhere on the screen. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you have fallen under that habit, then you've got a bunch of information which all works when it comes to astral projection. You know how to stay aware as your body falls asleep. You know what to look out for, the signs. Maybe you'll hear knocks on the door. Maybe you'll just feel like you're in another location. Maybe you'll see a slight glimmer of your wall, and as that slight glimmer grows out into your peripheral vision, all of a sudden you can see your room and you're there in the astrals, and you know to then get up. You have all this information. It's not sticking though, is it? So how would you stick it somewhere? Well, you have to get precise. You want to leave your body. You don't want to fall asleep. So you just focus on leaving your body. Now, it sounds easier when I say it, right? But this is how you're going to do it. You lay down and then you say, okay, I want to literally roll out of my body. I want to notice and just exit my body. That's the intent, okay? And then as you sit there, you observe as your mind starts to show you images of moments in your life where you started to study astral projection. You allow your mind to show you these things, maybe sensory feelings within the body, how you felt within your past, and you allow your body to shift yourself into specific vibrational states of consciousness. It will literally cause effects within your body. It's like a kind of causality to your anchor. So the vibration will cause your body to act in a certain way in order to facilitate an astral projection experience. Okay? The clearer your intent, the larger your anchor, the quicker you'll astral project. Okay? I tried this out this morning. I wouldn't be telling you this if it didn't work. This morning when I did it, I woke up and I was feeling pretty, awake. But I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to start making videos just yet. I wanted to try my theory that I had in my mind the night before, which was what I discovered whilst reading the book. So I did. I laid there and I thought, okay, I just want to separate out of my body. I want to be fully aware and I just want to separate out of my body. And then as I'm sat there, I didn't even feel like I was going to fall asleep. My body just went numb and it knew exactly what to do. And I found myself thinking in a certain way, remembering certain memories, and then bang, I'm out. I just slide straight out of my body. Only this time, this experience was pretty cool because I have posted a post on Ryan Cropper's Friends with a cube. There's a cube, you can hold it in your hand. It's like this toy that some scientists made. Well, physics. What is the name? And you guys can check it out. I'll probably put a link. I'll put the link in the description below because I actually found the guy who makes these things. If you've seen that video already, you know it's cool. Basically, it's a cube. It's got a bunch of mirrors in there. It's called an infinity cube. He calls it hologram something cube. You look into the hole and you can see all these other dimensions. It's like the space inside the cube is vast. But you know that the cube is tiny because you're holding it in your hand, right? That reminded me of a kind of mirror dimension. Not only that, but I have previously watched Doctor Strange, where he also enters the mirror dimension. Matter of fact, he's just learning about it. Now, I've never walked into a mirror before, but I have seen beings in mirrors before. And I've also seen other dimensions in mirrors before. Okay? Now, this is my mirror. Right here. See? It's lovely, a nice candy orange. It's pretty big, right near my fireplace. And I noticed that this mirror wasn't downstairs this morning. It was upstairs instead, at the edge of my hallway, placed on the wall. And as I see it there mounted, I walk up to it with the thought in mind about the mirror dimensions and stuff like that. And I just touch it with my astral hand. Now, before I even go into the mirror, I'm looking at my astral hand. My whole body is smooth and it's white. I mean like marble white. I have this pearlish pink tinge to the contours of my body, the ridges of my nose and the shoulders. I'm completely naked, right? But I'm looking at myself and I'm like vibrating and I'm pretty light as well, pretty bouncy. And as I touch the mirror, my hand kind of goes numb. I can't feel it. And then it phases through the glass. And then I'm just like laughing because of how easy this is. Then I take my other hand and I press it against and I just move straight through. There's a split moment where I can't see anything. I suppose my head was just dematerializing before it then rematerialized on the other end. But then I tripped over the bottom of the frame. Okay. Now, luckily, the mirror was really high up in this other dimension because as I fell, I just went and I slowly, ever so elegantly, just glided down into the mirror dimension, and I was like this. As I'm like this gliding down, I rotate my body up like this, so my feet are down here. So I'm falling like that, and then I rotate up like this. And I just drop down onto one foot, onto the floor of this mirror dimension. Now the floor is really soft. It's not spongy, it's like condensed air. It's kind of like standing on balloons, but without that rubber feel. And it's made out of a lot of white specks of light and very small pink and blue specks of light. Among them, bigger specks. I mean like huge stars, like about this big. And I mean star as in it's like a cross. And it's just pink. It's 360 degrees in my face everywhere. They're everywhere. Not only that, but you know the vastness of space? How black it is, you can't see the edge. Well, imagine that, but white. Yeah, this place didn't have any walls. As I'm sat there looking at this place, noticing how it looks nothing like the mirror dimension in the movie Doctor Strange, matter of fact, this one's a lot better, I start to hear somebody calling my name, Ryan, you there? And then instantly I get distracted, I think about 3D, I notice the fact that it's on the other side of the mirror, and then I go straight back to my physical body. But obviously I had a smile on my face. Why? Because my theory worked, okay? The idea about learning and the anchoring and the setting the intention and so forth actually followed through. So this is how I did it. This is how I astral projected this morning. This is how to set a clear intention. This is how to anchor information within your body and to bring out what you already know so that your physical body can change and can channel the information that you already know to do in order to astral project, okay? You can apply this to anything. You can apply it to learning new languages. You can apply it to learning the layout of the land if you've just moved to a new place. You can apply it to making food even, learning about recipes. You can apply it to pretty much anything that deals with you setting an intention to get anything done. So I'm Ryan, JC Ryan, James Cropper. This has been your potential how to set an intention. This could be classed technically as a new technique. If I have to leave you guys with one more piece of advice, that would be thank you for watching this whole 20 minutes until you're here, because if you cut off earlier, you're going to miss out on this last bit. You have to read or learn something the night before or the morning after. The reason being is because you need to get used to learning how to set an anchor and how to absorb information and stick it to the anchor so that later on when you do the astral projection or you decide to astral travel or whatever it is in life, you'll know exactly the steps to do, how to think in order to create that anchor in the first place. I'm Ryan JC. Check out my website, ryancropper.com, for more information on astral projection pertaining to courses, or check out my YouTube channel where there is a full section on astral projection advice, including life advice. And I'll speak to you guys pretty soon. Peace.